Hi, it's May 7th, 2023, like noontime. My computer's currently dragging stuff over from its folder to the external. I have to constantly drag stuff to the external because the folder of these images, number images, just gets so big. It's gonna end up being like, I don't know, 500 gigabytes, terabyte, I don't know. Luckily, I have a lot of space. Maybe I'll fill up and I'll have to figure out what to do, but I could save them for Flickr size, but I just want to save the original size just in case, you know. And maybe, yeah, buy more external hard drives later on. But I was working last night when I did my video. Yeah, I was about to pass out. I was like, didn't feel good. Eating too much sugar, not enough exercise. Got up this morning and I wanted to eat well, so I called my mom, see if she wanted to go to breakfast, because sometimes, like maybe once a month, we go to breakfast out to eat. And so I went to Dot's Diner this morning and I got a breakfast burrito and a coffee. And I explained to her this numbers thing on my website. It'll take a few days, maybe a week. I decided I needed to do it because I'm going to use numbers icons for the navigation of my timeline, and I want to do a tutorial of it on a demonstration of it on my homepage, and also have it ready to go for when I use it on the timeline and on the books. You can use it the icons on the timeline and full size linked to Flickr on the book and you can link it with the icon. I'll do that with my homepage to Flickr. So that'll be really cool to check out. But there's so many, and I need to figure out, I'm going to have different configurations as well. I need to figure out how to do the configurations. There's different ways, you know, you can grow it out from the middle. If you grow it out from the middle, the resolution gets worse and it's not consistent. If you grow it out horizontally, the resolution can stay good, stay the same, and it's consistent. So I decided to grow the number out horizontally. That way it takes more space, but you have as much you have a certain amount of horizontal space. It'll have to be something that would never, in a 20 pixel, would never exceed the 20% column of a timeline. And I don't know what I built. I wasn't even thinking about that when I built it. So we'll see. We'll test, and if it doesn't, then I'll make it more square color, and I might even have other squares to go. It's slow going because, you know, I also make mistakes building it. I was building one. I built him with the hundreds grow out from, because it mimics a timeline, and the timeline, to get to 10, you have to go 2 rows, which means that the end of each row is a different color. The first one is light green 5. Second one is like light purple, number 10 of the rainbow. So to have it 5 across on my icons is consistent. So to make 100, it goes 5 across for a square of 10. Next 100 would be a square of the same over here, next 100 over here, next 100 over here, so you have a big square of 400. But then after that, to complete the 1,000, you go out this way, which ends up making something the same shape as the 1,000 that I already have, that I use inside of the 10,000. And when I stick the thousands together to make 100,000, it's just different with the yellow background, because it's more, stands out more, and then the 100 is the white. I mean, is white blue, because that stands out, and then 10 is red because that stands out. So that's a good way to connect the 100 of the rainbow and then the 100 of the special bright colors to go inside of the bigger numbers. So and I was having to make them in increments of 5, and doing some more of that. And I'll have to do some more increments of 5 between, I think, the decades, in the hundreds. But The original wasn't even on my computer. I had to take it off temporarily and put it on the external. So there's a lot of shuffling I have to do. And there's not even anything on my computer other than my website. I took off all of the videos having to do with my website, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to have my website intact. These are just videos that I intend on one day putting on YouTube. Just screen captures of videos of the Google Earth and zooming in and out of stuff, which I spend a lot of time doing. So I can't lose it. So to take it off my computer is kind of sketchy. If it's only on one hard drive, I have to make sure. I'm going to make sure really quickly as soon as I can, that all that stuff, those videos and stuff, are on all the hard drives, because I don't think it was before. And God, that sucked to lose that. And you never know when a hard drive is about to die. But yeah, I'm gonna just drag as much as I can back to the computer to do the work I need, so I can I need to click on it to do a screen capture to turn it into a PNG. And then I need to convert the big ones to under 200 megabytes so I can upload them to Flickr. I did upload a couple of files to Flickr today, but I was going to organize the hundreds. I did the ones and the tens, and then I got to the hundreds, and I had to back them up to the external hard drive, and now I have to, what was I doing? I can't even remember. Yeah, making sure that it's all backed up. That's what it was dragging. Is it still dragging? Yeah, it's done now. Good. And then, yeah, so now it drags. Now I can delete the ones on my computer and then drag back as much as I can. So I can then click on it, do a screen capture of it, turn it into PNG, and then turn those PNGs into icons, and then put those onto the icon folder, and then onto the external, actually not PNGs, just to test it, to test the ones. But so what I'm doing is this is what I was explaining to my mother. I'm turning for the first time. I'm in history. I'm turning numbers into signs. Somebody might say that Roman numerals are that, but that's still numbers. It's still letters. It's not signs. If you know if anybody else has done that, I'd like to see, but I Googled it, didn't see anything like that. Yeah, so I decided to turn numbers into signs. The goal is to be able to look at a 20 pixel icon, expanded 20 pixel icon, or maybe even a 20 pixel icon, not even expanded, just when you can see all the icons together. But if you see one of these 20 pixel icons, not surrounded by the other icons to give you a clue as to context, but just all by itself, if you saw a 20 pixel icon, you'd know what number it is. And so between 1 through 100, because the color codedness and the arrangement of it helps you. And then between 1 to 1,000 in increments of 10, and then 1,000 to 10,000 in increments of 50, and then 10,000 to 100,000 in increments of 500. This is just what I'm thinking now. If I think I have to get it a little bit more resolution, then I'll do that. But then 10,000 to 100,000 increments of 5,000. Increments of, and then 100,000 to 1,000,000 in increments of 50,000, and on and on. So the goal is to match the resolution of what you hear in a book. I said this yesterday, but I was listening to the podcast yesterday of the guy doing the story of the history of Japan, and he mentioned in people 75 to 100,000 people went to the army or whatever, and he didn't say 70,200. He said 75,200, and so that's why increments of 5. I don't want to come across a book and here's somebody in the book talk about a number of people who went to sea or whatever, and have it be a higher resolution than what I have available, to where I have to like create something new or add something. I want to already have it available, and round up and down the same as what you would get in a book within reason, unless they're like all anal about it. But I've read enough books, and I think that they're pretty much to that 5,000 plus plus 5. If you look at it visually, it fills up half, so it helps you visualize what the number is, because it kind of pokes out. It's like a flag. It's like with a special shape signature as well. So it has a color signature and a shape signature, and a color to shape comparison signature. And you know, when you click on the icon, it takes you to the picture, which shows you each person individually, which is the cool thing about it. So I'm gonna build the put them all the icons together on my head page, and I want to play the game to look at the icon and see if I can guess what that number represents. And if that's whatever I can look at an icon and guess it out of context, what the number represents to the same resolution as what you would ever hear in a book. That means I could use it to that definition on my timeline without even. I mean, I will write it out, but I could use it as an aid, and it wouldn't even be necessary. And it would match and look exactly the same as what you would see on a book in full size on the side, because the side has 20%. Click, and so you can see the people already in that area, which is way bigger. But then also when you click on that, it takes you to the full size one. So, which can be a maximum of 200 megabytes, which I think gives you a resolution of being able to see everything up to. I can't remember. It's up there now under a. It's inside of the folder collection called. Numbers of things visualized, and the folder is Roman legions. So I started it, but it's maybe, I don't know, maybe 100,000 that you can see all the way to the person. The way that Flickr works really well is you click it and it zooms all the way up really well. I like how they have it designed. Then you can move it around by just moving the mouse. But so yeah, so this is an exciting new little side project that I'm going to do. I'm super interested to see how it looks on the timeline. I think it'll look good. And I love tying stuff together. Something like one thing that can be used across lots of different things, because then it could bring those different things together, you know. And this is one thing. Images of numbers is used in books, timeline, you know, in the form of big images, the actual showing of the people, the icon. And so, yeah, like I was telling my mom, it's kind of similar to Braille. Braille invented a language that you feel with your finger, or whoever did it with sign language. And then 200 years later, it's the same language. Same people never changed it. Maybe it's the same thing with what I'm doing. I'm building flags, symbols of numbers. That's just so perfect that it'll be used in 200 years. I mean, things are different now with digitization and more creativity, but I mean, rainbow numbers. I don't see how you can get better than that. You could do a circular version. I'm doing the grid version, circular version, and perhaps maybe if somebody comes up with crazy ass like 3D, you could do 3D version, but then that wouldn't be representative of like historically people standing there in a crowd on ground. You know, you need it to be grid. So anyway, so that's why I think mine design's the best. Anyways, enough talking. Tomorrow, I'm enjoying this good weather. Have the windows open. Yeah, tomorrow hopefully I'll be talking about how I was happy with how my computer's performing and everything, and the space that it has. And the progress that I'm making on it. You know, I'm giving myself a whole week to do this. I'm not in any rush just because it's such a cool project and it's worth it, whatever. Yeah, I'll also looking to see what the images look like all scrunched together. I showed my mom, because I have on my homepage of my website right now, I have these two icons representing 100,000 just to see what it looked like. And the one on the right is 20 pixels, one on the left is 32 pixels, and they're both on 20 pixel icons. But the original image is 32 on the left and 20 on the right. And I asked my mom if she could see the difference, and she couldn't. Her eyes are fine. She got like the cornea replacement, but she couldn't tell the difference. And then I showed her, and then she could tell the difference after I showed her. But with the 20 pixel, the 100 people, the bright blue that represents 100 people, looks like a straight blue line that goes down the middle, all the way down. But on the 32 pixel one, it actually looks, you can see it as an individual blue dot. You can see 100 blue dots, individual blue dots, and maybe even a red dot inside of it representing the 10 people. I can't remember. But on a 20 pixel icon. So yeah, representing numbers with icons and being able to identify it is a realistic proposition. So I'm super excited to see if that's possible for me to do. Anyways, enough talking. I'm going to get back to work now, and hopefully tomorrow I will be happy with the progress that I made today. I forgot to go on a walk with my mom when she dropped me off here again. As she was driving away, I was like, I should have told her, but then I let her go away because I don't want to go back there. I'm going to just stay here and work all day long, and maybe I think I kind of turned into maybe diurnalist. I kind of slept last night, so maybe it'll give me energy to work, and maybe it'll cause me to not want to work all through the night and sleep a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, talk to you tomorrow.